Good morning and welcome to your very own Try It Before You Buy It channel with your host Karamullah Kadwani. It's currently 4 a.m. in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and I have kind of tested out my new setup and I'm comfortable with the volume I'm at because my wife is currently sleeping. She's just fallen asleep because I think I was a bit too loud. Plus, she usually keeps awake since 2020, maybe earlier. I'm not a night sleeper. I don't like sleeping in the nights. I haven't ever been sleeping in the nights. Um, I have a problem with my sleep patterns. Either which ways, Noreen, my wife, kind of fully supports me in everything I do, and she usually tries to keep up at nights, work throughout the day, come back home, spend some time with me, and it's been what it's been for the longest time that I've known her. She's been the sole pillar in my journey. Um, I have nothing but gratitude towards her, and if it wasn't for her, I'd probably not be here talking to you right now. Either which ways, we were covering up a few of the releases from Atelier Materi, and I wanted to kind of do a house overview, homage, if you will, to Atelier Materi, because it's definitely a brand that I personally resonate with, and I think a lot of fragrance connoisseurs would worldwide. Um, I'll give you a reason why. I'll tell you a little about Atelier Materi, and that should be able to tell you why I am such a big fan of the house. Atelier Materi feels like the antidote to trend perfume, not because they're trying to be rebellious or obscure. A few other brands that I can think that kind of do that is Born to Stand Out, Ortho Parisi, perhaps Nazumato, and we'll talk about them on a different day. But they kind of seem to be a little more rebellious out there. Atelier Materi doesn't stand for that at all, but because their entire philosophy is built around something most brands say they do, but rarely commit to material first perfumery. Atelier Materi does. The result is a house that doesn't smell like it's chasing the market, chasing compliment culture, or trying to win a loud battle of projection. Instead, they create fragrances that feel composed, intentional, and most importantly, personal. And that's exactly why Atelier Materi stands out in today's niche landscape. Atelier Materi, where the raw material is the star. Atelier Materi doesn't build perfumes around hype notes or viral DNA. They build them around a material, one ingredient chosen for its depth, character, and emotional texture. That alone is a major differentiator today because modern perfumery is often structured backwards. Brands start with an idea like luxury amberwood beast mode or fresh citrus must complement magnet, then reverse engineer something to match that category. I'm sure the people that will resonate with the brand understand uh, what we are saying so far. Atelier Materi does the opposite. Their perfumers feel like they begin with a single high quality ingredient placed under a spotlight, and everything else exists to sculpt its shape like a couture garment built around one extraordinary fabric. That's why their fragrances don't feel redundant. They don't smell like another version of what's already working. They smell like a deliberate artistic interpretation of a raw material. Why they don't smell like they're trying too hard? A lot of niche brands today are guilty of performance anxiety perfumery. They push intensity, sweetness, overdosed woods, and synthetic amber bombs because they want immediate impact. Atelier Materi creates impact differently. Their compositions often have a quiet confidence. They don't scream for attention, but they have presence. They feel like they were designed for someone who already knows who they are. This is the key difference. Trying too hard, perfumes shout, notice me. Like I said, I think one of the brands that I'd relate to that kind of perfumery is Born to Stand Out, not taking away anything from that brand, as I do own about two, three of their fragrances, and really, I do not resonate with that as much as I do with Atelier Materi. Ah, Atelier Materi perfumes whisper, come closer. That whisper is what makes them sensual, because sensuality isn't volume, it's tension, texture, warmth, skin, and the slow reveal. The statement maker effect, signature without being loud. One of the hardest things for a perfume to achieve is this balance, to be signature worthy while still being distinctive. Many perfumes fail by leaning too far into one side. Signature friendly but boring, clean musks, generic ambers, unique but unwearable, too experimental, too abstract. Atelier Materi sits in that rare middle space, refined originality. Their scents don't feel like experiments, they feel like statements, polished, wearable, but undeniably different from what's filling department store shelves and even many niche boutiques. I have broken this down into several sections, and I'm trying to kind of read off what I've written for the House of Atelier Materi uh, from my LinkedIn profile. Um, Atelier Materi, I term as dare to be different, that makes them perfect signature statement fragrances, perfumes that become part of our identity without smelling like something everyone else owns. Sensuality and special occasion energy. Atelier Materi perfumes often have a tactile richness, woods that feel carved and smooth, florals that feel velvet, spices that feel warm rather than sharp. This creates a natural special occasion aura because the compositions feel elevated. They smell like intentional dressing, not necessarily black tie, but the energy of tailored clothing, dim lighting, confidence, slow conversations, proximity. This is the kind of perfumery that makes people lean in, not step back. Their fragrances don't just sit in the air, they create an atmosphere around the wearer. That's why they feel sensual. They don't perform like a loud crowd pleaser, they perform like a private moment. Artisan luxury, if I may say, the brand feels like craft, not marketing. Atelier Materi has that rare niche quality where you can feel the craftsmanship. The perfumes feel texture rather than flat, layered rather than linear, elegant rather than made for mass appeal. I'm sorry, the first line that I have written is textural rather than flat. I'm kind of slurring. I had my caffeine and I'm kind of awake, but I'm missing probably my words. So this is what makes them feel artisan, not rustic artisan, but luxury atelier artisan, like something made by hands that understand proportion, kind of like a Rolls Royce. The reason why it costs as much is perhaps its comparison with Corolla, where you have 600 made every hour, and Rolls Royce probably one made, handmade, tailor made to the specifications laid by the consumer over a period of 6 months, probably a year, and so hand built, kind of tailor made to your uh, specifics. That identity isn't based on loud branding or shock value concepts. If I want to give an example of a shock value concept. I do love the house of Italy, Italy Liber d'Orange, and taking nothing away from them because I have a lot of sense from Etat Liber d'Orange, Aldo, as the Frag-rant would like to call them. Taking nothing away from them, there are compositions that I like from that house, but they did a perfume quite some time ago that's called Secretions Magnifique. And I think the name is enough to ring bells to those who are already in the fragrance game. Um, that kind of has a shock value rather than a kind of a niche artisan feel. It's okay. So Atelier, getting back to Atelier Materi, it's based on a quiet confidence in quality that puts them in a class of their own, standing apart in a world of same DNA niche. Right now, even historically distinctive houses have started drifting into trend territory. The market is saturated with sweet ambers, saffron rosewood variations, Crete style fresh masculine musks, laundry clean woody ambroxan, caramel vanilla gourmands. And so even if you look at classic niche houses, I'd consider Creed niche. I'm not sure if it's a designer brand, but they kind of came out with their ambers, Centaurus and Delphinus. Delphinus being a better one of the releases. I'd say Oud Zarian. Everybody is going into that trend train, and Atelier Materi kind of avoids that trap because the perfumes don't start from a trend DNA. They start from a material and an emotion. That's why they don't smell like the niche version of mainstream. They smell like actual niche, meaning a point of view. Why they feel like a collector's house? If you ask me, Atelier Materi gives the impression of a brand that respects the intelligence of the wearer. They don't spoon feed you, their scents unfold. That's why fragrance lovers who are tired of the current niche landscape gravitate towards houses like this because it feels like perfumery made for people who want depth, not just dopamine. Atelier Materi fragrances feel like they belong in a wardrobe where every item has a reason to exist. They don't feel like one more bottle, they feel like a piece, the emotional result, a fragrance that becomes yours. The ultimate reason Atelier Materi stands out is this: their fragrances don't wear like products, they wear like identity extensions, if you will. Um, the last part, the final chapter, as I've mentioned in our writings, is that they don't smell like a trend you're borrowing, they smell like a mood you're embodying. And when someone smells them, they don't immediately say, "Oh, that smells like that popular thing." They say, "You smell incredible. What is that?" And I've had that experience while wearing Atelier Materi fragrances. That is the difference between a perfume that follows the market and a perfume that creates its own space. Final thought: a house for people who don't want to smell like everyone. Atelier Materi is niche in the true sense. Not niche because it's expensive or hard to find, but niche because it has a philosophy and says and stays loyal to it. They create perfumes that feel sensual without being cliche, bold without being loud, refined without being sterile, signature worthy without being generic. In a world where even prestige houses are leaning into safe mass appeal DNA, Atelier Materi feels like the rare brand that still believes perfume is supposed to be a personal signature, not a trend accessory. And that's why they don't feel redundant. They feel like you, but elevated. My take on Atelier Materi. Uh, let's hear yours. Do you have you tried the house of Atelier Materi? And honestly speaking, I blind bought a lot of their fragrances, but I reached out to the house and I purchased these. Don't get me wrong; they haven't given me any freebies or discovery sets or any incentive to get into the house. I never contacted them um, ever for doing that. Uh, and all the opinions are my own. They're not influenced. The brand has nothing to, I mean, offer me except what I've mentioned is an identity. It's a scent that's truly uniquely yours. If you want to stand out, if you want to be unique in the landscape of perfumeries being offered nowadays, the dupes, the noise, um, and try something really niche, bordering artisan. If you ask me, I'd call it artisan niche, and I love what the brand stands for. I ordered the discovery set. I suggest you do the same. Do not blind buy fragrances. By no means am I advocating blind buying their fragrances, but do kind of try to uh, get the discovery sets. The discovery sets are very much worth the investment. The samples are of good quality. The sprays are good. The scents are long lasting. As I said, they anything but noise. The signature scent worthy. I'd like to hear your take on the house. If you have any perfumes from Atelier Materi, what you think about the house. I'd like to get a subscription. I'd like to I'd like you to subscribe to my channel. I'd like you to share this video if you like it. I'd like to give I'd like you to give me a thumbs up if you take anything of value from all these videos, efforts that I'm trying to put into video format. I already am on LinkedIn, but I'm going to try to translate these videos into YouTube videos, so you may hear them anytime that you're doing your house chores or have time to kill during your commute, long commutes from work, and you want to discover fragrances or new fragrance houses uh, that I truly appreciate. Please do subscribe to my channel, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the videos. I shall be getting in a lot more reviews from Atelier Materi. Um, until the next time, your host Karamullah Kadwani signing out. I hope you liked the stream. Thank you.